Good morning and welcome to All Faiths Unitarian Congregation. My name is Greg Monk and I will be leading our service today as your worship associate. Here you will find a diverse and inclusive spiritual community where we welcome people with many beliefs. You can bring your whole self, your full identity, your questioning mind, and your expansive heart. At All Faiths, we have more than one way of experiencing the world and understanding the sacred. No matter who you are, wherever you are on your spiritual journey, and no matter whom you love, you are truly welcome here. Is anyone visiting us for the first time? Welcome. We are glad that you are with us today. If you'd like to know more about our All Faiths or membership, please see Fran Way after our service in our membership corner, which is just behind the folding doors, or check out our website, www.allfaithsuu.org. I have a few announcements this morning. Excuse me. Our children will be joining Kathy Fanny for the Child and Youth program a little later in the service. Wednesday at 10 a.m. we have our 10 o'clock scholar, and that will be Wellsprings, which will be led by our Reverend CJ. Saturday, April 2nd from 9 to 1 is a special program called Awakening the Dreamer, presented by our Climate Action team, and you can see Joan Marshall for more information about that. And Sundays at 9:15 a.m. there is our, as always, our news talk at All Faiths Sanctuary, led by Richard Keelan. Please rise in body or spirit as we sing together hymn number 361. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your ears to the song. Open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Thank you. As Joan Marshall comes forward to light our chalice, please join in reciting the words that are listed in your order of service. Joan, you can actually use that candle that's already there. Here are those words. For the gift of this day and for our community of spiritual nurture and compassion, we give thanks. We light this chalice as a symbol of our faith. May our many sparks meet and merge in communion of heart and soul. And I understand we have a little presentation about burning our mortgage next. Thank you, John.
Thank you, John. It is our custom when a member of our congregation dies to light a candle, and that candle remains lit for the remainder of the service. And today we honor Dick Ashton. Let us join in a few moments of silence in his memory. And now we turn to celebration. In our annual meeting this morning, Joyce Rame commented how successful we came through the pandemic. And so we have. While other congregations have closed their doors, have dwindled to little members, and didn't have money, basically, the resources they needed to stay alive and do their work in the community, we arrive here this morning to burn our mortgage. This congregation, this spiritual community exists by its mission as a fire exists by burning, but a fire cannot burn without fuel. And it is the time, the energy, the imagination, the vision, the creativity, the compassion, the love, and the financial support of you, this congregation's members and friends, that fuels our mission to nurture and sustain a welcoming, inclusive, and diverse liberal spiritual community that transforms lives and serves the world. Your support, the free and generous support of each and every member and friend of this congregation is what fuels this community and its mission. And without your support, the flame of justice, community, and love cannot burn brightly to warm ourselves and be a beacon in our community and the world threatened by division and fear. Last Sunday, the chair of our board of directors, Chris Stotler, asked a question. What will future generations say about us when they look back? He asked. If those future generations look back on today, they will marvel at the generosity of this congregation and its wisdom in creating a sustainable congregation firmly set in this community to promote justice, equity, and compassion. And so I invite Howard Silverman and Regina Kilmartin to come forward for our ritual. I think a couple of years ago, Howard Silverman made a suggestion that we pay down our mortgage, and he has been successful in, yeah.
We don't want to burn it down after we pay it off.
He has been successful in his campaign. So Howard, I want to thank you for your stewardship toward burning our mortgage, and I'm delighted. I always wanted us to burn it while you were here.
This is not my burning, this is everybody's contributed to this.
Absolutely. But it was an idea starting from you. And so
This is our mortgage in the amount of $336,482.16. I'm going to ask you to
Yes,
fold.
that was right.
And then fold it one more time.
Put it in the bucket.
No, hold it while I light it.
Oh, yeah, easy for you to say. No, it's not hot, no, it isn't.
Not yet. There we go.
Happy days are here again, the skies all together shouting. There's no one who can doubt it now. So let's tell the world about it now. Happy days are here again.
Very cool. Please join us now in singing hymn number 413, Go Now in Peace, as our children join Kathy Fanny for their Child and Youth Program in the Robinson Room. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
Each Sunday, we share our joys and sorrows with the congregation by lighting a candle. If you'd like to light a candle and share your joy or sorrow, please come forward.
I'm going to light a candle for the people of Ukraine who are suffering so terribly under the aggression of the Russians. And Carlos Garcia last week made a wonderful suggestion. Next Sunday, let's all wear blue and yellow in honor of the people of the Ukraine. This is becoming a universal thing. People are making candles, they're wearing clothes, they're having demonstrations, wearing blue and yellow, the color of the Ukrainian flags. So Carlos, thank you for that suggestion. And next Sunday, blue and yellow at All Face, and somebody will take the picture.
I have a joy, and it's a righteous one. On Thursday, May 24th at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I defended my dissertation and passed. I am Dr. Vanessa Hanel Gilliard. I left my good friend Jack Daniels home. About this high, and I would have had shots for everybody. But it is in tribute. My mother, the late Dr. Geraldine Lewis Gilliard, she has 2 doctorates. One is sitting in the Library of Congress. And my father, the late Dr. Isidore Henry Gilliard, my mother got hers at University of Miami. My father got his at Nova. Mine is at North Central University. The graduation will be May 14th in San Diego. I am planning to attend. There is a link, and I will give it to Reverend CJ, and you all, if you want to watch. I also have a link for my dissertation presentation. They do give it to us because after I think a few months, it goes away as far as where the school is concerned. So yes, I am done. I'm free. After every obstacle that has happened, my parents passing away 2 months apart, me being in a car accident and nearly dying. And I think that I'm crazy when I mentioned this, but when I spun around the whole bunch of times, and I stopped and I looked back and I looked at my parents, the spiritual of them, and they said, not yet. So I am here, and I am happy to be here, and I'm not as broken as I was before. Moving on to sorrow, any Foo Fighter fan knows that the death of Taylor Hawkins was a shock. May he rest in peace. He leaves behind a wife and 3 kids, and it's still a shock.
Thank you, Doctor.
Hi, I'm Donnelly Benyak, and I just want to thank everybody in this congregation for the wonderful cards that I got and for all the healing thoughts. And hey, you can't kill a weed. You got me around for a while. But thank you so much, and that's my joy. What a wonderful group we have.
Thank you, Donnelly.
Hi, it's Michelle Gemma. I have just healing. My friend is having two blockages taken out of that main artery. So I just wish you all would have her in your hearts and prayers. Mary Lou.
I just wanted to light a candle this morning of appreciation for this congregation. We held Thursday an event here that the church hosted, a move-in celebration for the homeless folks that our agency has been able to house over the last year, and through the generosity of this church who hosted the event, and the generosity of all of you who contributed gifts for that, we were able to, we had well over enough gifts to provide to everyone who showed up here. We had 38 different gift baskets, and we had, collected all throughout the county to get them. Half of those came from this congregation, so we're very grateful. And so we housed 137 different homeless people over the last year, and they were here to give their appreciation to us, and I want to give my appreciation to you as a congregation for hosting us. So thank you.
Would anyone like me to bring the microphone to you? I'm lighting a candle for Richard's sister, Sheila, my sister-in-law, who on April 5th will be having a very serious heart surgery. And so please hold her in your thoughts. I light this final candle for the joys and sorrows that remain silent and in our hearts.
Now I'd like to ask everyone to close your eyes, take a deep breath, and let us turn our minds and our hearts to today's service and to contemplate our blessings. Please rise in body or spirit as we sing together hymn number 123, Spirit of Life. Words are in your order of service.
Spirit of life, come unto me, sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving light the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
In this hour, may we be open to a rededication of treasured friendships, a renewal of spirit, and may we relinquish the worries and anxieties of the past week, if just for this hour, to regain our strength through this community of faith. It is good to be together.
I'm gonna find my victory, surrender in the battle. I'm gonna speak to what's unseen, tell it all to unravel. Here now, let your power pull down fear. The darkness shakes, the shadows shiver. My faith is stronger, greater, bigger. This is me, seeing clearer. The enemy's only got smoke and mirrors. Oh, 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 oh. My faith is stronger, greater, bigger. Oh, 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 oh. The enemy's only got smoke and mirrors. I might have nothing in my hands, but I'll raise them to the ceiling. Hardest circumstance holds my freedom and my healing. Here now, let your power pull down fear. The darkness shakes, the shadows shiver. My faith is stronger, greater, bigger. This is me, seeking clearer. The enemy's only got smoke and mirrors. Oh, 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 oh. My faith is stronger, greater, bigger. Oh, 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 oh. The enemy's only got smoke and mirrors. I'm free, I'm not afraid, 'cause I'm lost in praise, I'm lost in praise. I'm shaking off the chains, 'cause I'm lost in praise, I'm lost in praise. The darkness shakes, the shadows shiver. My faith is stronger, greater, bigger. This is me, seeing clearer. The enemy's only got smoke and mirrors. Oh, 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 oh. My faith is stronger, greater, bigger. Oh, 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 oh. The enemy's only got smoke and mirrors.
Thank you, Carlos. Our reading this morning is entitled Love is for Everyone, including us. The author is anonymous. Unitarian Universalism is a faith focused on love, but it often feels easier to extend that love to others rather than to ourselves. With love at the center of our Universalist heritage, it is a wonder that so many of us think of ourselves as unworthy of love. This love is for everyone, including us. For those of us who grew up in homes with addiction or dysfunction, it was so hard to know we were loved. Our parents struggled to show their love, and truthfully were incapable of giving us love at many points in our lives. Growing up in this environment, we internalized that our lives did not matter and that we were inherently flawed. Our call is to keep love at the center of our lives by acting compassionately toward ourselves and others. Our call is to consider our actions with a forgiving spirit, even and especially those that we cannot seem to shake or forget. This is hard work. We cannot undo a lifetime's worth of messages in a few days, but we can begin with forgiving ourselves. We can take that deep breath and remind ourselves that we are beloved one day at a time. Please rise together in body or spirit as we sing hymn number 170, We Are a Gentle, Angry People.
We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a justice-seeking people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a justice-seeking people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are young and old together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are young and old together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing, singing for our lives.
Just a reminder that the theme for our messages this month is staff picks. So each staff member picked a topic, and I developed a message around their chosen topics. And this morning we engaged the topic chosen by Kathy Fanny, our Director of Child and Youth Programs. And you may know that Kathy is working to become a candidate for the Lee County School Board. And when Kathy was discerning whether she would take on this endeavor, I asked her why. Would she want to do this? And Kathy's greatest concern was politics getting in the way of educating our children. Politics getting in the way of educating our children. That is politicizing classroom instruction. And so that is what we will explore together this morning. There is something rotten in the state of Florida. And politicians are selling oppressive ideas, mandates, and legislation under the guise of empowering parents to have input into their child's education. And this whole operation is nothing more than smoke and mirrors. That is something intended to disguise or draw attention away from an often embarrassing or unpleasant issue. And in this case, the issues being disguised are racism, transphobia, and homophobia. And they have found a way to erase people of color from our history, erase the transgendered and LGBTQ plus folk. It's bundled in a neat little package called parent empowerment. You see, it's easier to shove parent empowerment down the gullets of the public than to admit that you're a bigoted and racist society. And unfortunately, people are gobbling it up and asking for second servings. We could start in June 2021 when the Florida State Board of Education banned critical race theory from public school classrooms, adopting new rules it said would shield school children from curricula that could distort historical events. Governor Ron DeSantis appeared by video at the top of that board meeting, urging its members, many of whom he appointed, to adopt the new measures he asserted would serve students with the facts rather than trying to indoctrinate them with ideology. The facts rather than trying to indoctrinate them with ideology. Do you see the holes in this? The idiocy in this response? And behind the smoke and mirrors, he would tell us we shouldn't present historical facts, but we should keep our children in the dark and present them only with a whitewashed version of our history. And this isn't new. In fact, in my own early Catholic education, I only learned the whitewashed version of history with only a paragraph in my textbook about Rosa Parks, a few lines about Frederick Douglass, and a paragraph about Martin Luther King Jr. People of color weren't talked about. People of color weren't celebrated. And I never learned about the genocide of Native people, and I grew up next to a Mohawk reservation and always wondered what the conflict was about. And I was taught about those bad and lazy Indians. I was taught that the good white man invited the Native people to dinner one day, and wasn't that nice? And that's why we gather on Thanksgiving. Nothing about the genocide of a people. White privilege was and is built into our textbooks, and racism and bigotry were and are being taught. But it seemed, at least when I was growing up, that no one knew it. Ignorance, or we didn't want to admit it. Bigotry, racism. Now these are sanctioned in our school system. The job of educators is to challenge students with facts and allow them to question and think critically about information, and that's the antithesis of indoctrination. And no matter our color, our background, where we live, we want our kids to have an education that imparts honesty about who we are, integrity in how we treat others, and the courage to do what is right. And the Parental Rights and Education Bill, dubbed the Don't Say Gay bill by LGBTQ activists, has been passed by the Florida House of Representatives. The bill limits what classrooms can teach about sexual orientation and gender identity, and teachers can be arrested. Under this legislation, these lessons may not occur in kindergarten through grade 3, or in a manner that is not age appropriate or developmentally appropriate for students in accordance with state standards. I can tell you as a gay man that I was questioning my difference in 2nd and 3rd grade. And so today, so are our children questioning their differences, are being squashed down and moved towards suicide. The bill would also allow parents to sue schools or teachers that engage in these topics. And supposedly, the bill is about protecting the rights of parents, which sounds well-meaning enough. But behind the smoke and mirrors, a close read of the text shows it to be an overly broad piece of legislation that requires school mental health counselors to out LGBTQ children to their parents. Out LGBTQ children to their parents, and makes any discussion of LGBTQ plus issues or identities practically forbidden, because parents could start a state investigation and sue for damages anytime they feel aggrieved. The bill endangers the lives of children who already suffer disproportionately high rates of houselessness and self-harm. And really, it's the don't discuss anything about queer or trans existence, and don't counsel trans or gay kids. Instead, you must out them to their parents, or else parents can force a state investigation of the school, get money damages, and probably get you fired bill. If this bill is ultimately signed into law, it would go into effect on July 1st, and Governor DeSantis has said he supports the bill, though he hasn't explicitly said he will sign it if it crosses his desk. We know he likely will. LGBTQ plus activists and families, slammed the decision to move the legislation forward, saying it will harm our LGBTQ youth by shunning representation and inclusion from classrooms. Lawmakers should be supporting LGBTQ students and their families, encouraging schools to be inclusive, not pitting parents against teachers and erasing the LGBT community from public education. When lawmakers treat LGBTQ topics as taboo and brand the LGBT community as unfit for the classroom, it only adds to the existing stigma and discrimination, which puts LGBTQ young people at greater risk for bullying, depression, and suicide. Activists say erasing LGBTQ presence from lessons implies students should be ashamed or suppress their gender identity or sexual orientation. And in a recent interview on ABC News, Representative Joe Harding defended the bill, saying the bill would not prohibit people from talking about gender identity and sexual orientation. It would ban curriculum and lessons. And he said the decision to talk about these topics should be left to the parents. And so what does all of this mean to us as Unitarian Universalists? It means that our values of justice, equity, and compassion, our mission of justice, equity, and compassion are under attack. Excuse me, can I have my water? Civility, being recognized and celebrated for who you are, is under attack. Basically, being something other than white, male, cisgender, and Christian means you have no worth. Your history is erased. You deserve to be excluded. You should be ashamed of yourself and fearful. The result will be exclusion, violence, and unprecedented suicide. Yes, the beliefs, these policies, this legislation will contribute to the normalization of racism, violence, and discrimination of people of color. It will normalize the hate and violence against those who express their gender identity, ultimately leading to a rise in suicide of our youth. This doesn't seem to matter to this bill's supporters, or doesn't matter to the people not wanting critical race theory being taught. Why would it matter? If the goal is to beat down, silence, and erase people of color and their communities, and if the goal is to force exclusion, crush dignity and the worth of the LGBTQ community, then why would it matter? These exclusionary snake oil salesmen just don't care. And supporters of this hateful nonsense and its rise across the nation, they hate the American dream being opened up to the undeserving people, and hate that the poor don't work until they die. They have also been working to limit voting rights, civil rights, celebrating surveillance and censorship, and criminalizing access to knowledge. The Dr. Bessel van der Kolk, a leading expert in trauma, once said, "Our capacity to destroy one another is matched by our capacity to heal one another." The love of the stranger, the capacity to see others as like oneself and worthy of the same mercy and charity. The love and concern for those who do not yet exist and whom one will never know, but whose lives one is shaping in the selfish present. The love of the truth, the strength to resist illusion and lies and square up to the uncomfortable facts of all kinds. The fate of civilization lies ultimately not in the law or in the courts, at the ballot box, or in the corridors of government. It lies in our ability to master the most short-term, selfish, and violent of our impulses active in the dense folds of organic matter between our ears. It lies in learning how fiercely to compensate for the flawed architecture of our minds. And we can move away from the edge by reaching out in love. Reaching out in love implies moving beyond our places of comfort, including those we have placed around meeting our individual needs, and radically reaching out to those who may be searching for whatever we have found and what we may be able to offer the world, including those who are needing to find help for their human longings. What does reaching out in love actually mean? First, it is about reaching out past the edge of our traditional comfort as individuals and as a congregation. It is totally understandable that we look for hope and for a community that wraps us in the comforting blanket of familiarity. And reaching out in love can challenge that equilibrium. But radically reaching out in love can also challenge the systems and structures that have brought public racism, that deny and complicate our climate crisis, that continue the political stalemate that impedes us coming together to solve problems, and that feeds the growth of fundamentalism that threatens long-term peace. Reaching out in love is hard to do, and our work is to think about how to crawl back when we get too close to the edge, how to care for ourselves, as Greg told us in our reading this morning, and to care for each other when the edge feels really scary, and how to deal with the unknown when we reach the edge of what we know or have known. When we are reaching out to the world with the values and principles that we cherish, we should be mustering the strength of others so more voices can be heard. And when we stand with those who are oppressed, we should be doing that arm in arm and shoulder to shoulder with other Unitarian Universalists, other faith communities or partner organizations who may not share our faith, but certainly share our values. And instead of feeling overwhelmed today with the chaos and lack of love in our world, I'm encouraged by the incredible efforts being put forth by so many. There is so much good. There is so much love. There actually is progress. And we have come so far with so much more to go in what may be a shorter time than we think. So find sources of strength. Find sources of sustenance. And be willing to appreciate your comfort spots, and yet being willing to let go of things as they have always been done. Love can still prevail. Love can still prevail as we continue to walk towards trouble. Reach out in love and stand together on the edge. And let compassion be our hands, reaching to be with each other and all others to touch, to hold, to feel, to heal this fractured world. Let wisdom be our feet, bringing us to the crying need to friends or foe to share this body's blood. And let love be our eyes, that we might see the beauty, see the dream, even lurking in the shadows of despair and dread. May it be so. Water. Thank you. Awful thirsty today. I blame Ron DeSantis. So before I share our joke this morning, I want to thank everyone for their generosity. And if you're at home watching us and would like to make an offering, please use the information below the video. And so a businessman ordered flowers to be sent to the opening of his friend's brand new office, new branch office. And when the businessman got there, he was shocked to see the flowers with the inscription, "Rest in peace." And he was so outraged that he stopped at the florist to complain. And the florist said, "It could be worse. Just think. Today, someone was buried beneath a floral arrangement with the inscription, 'Congratulations on your new location.' The morning offering will now be given and received." I'm so thirsty.
If you search for tenderness, it isn't hard to find. You can have the love you need to live. If you look for truthfulness, you might just as well be blind. It always seems to be so hard to give. Honesty, such a lonely word. Everyone is so untrue. Honesty, hardly ever heard, but mostly what I need from you. I can always find someone to say they understand if I wear my heart out on my sleeve. But I don't want some pretty face to tell me pretty lies. All I want is someone to believe. Honesty, such a lonely word. Everyone is so untrue. Honesty is hardly ever heard, but mostly what I need from you. I can find a lover, I can find a friend, I can have security until the bitter end. Anyone can comfort me with promises again. I know. When I'm deep inside of me, don't be too concerned. I won't ask for nothing while I'm gone. When I want sincerity, tell me where else can I turn? 'Cause you're the one that I depend upon. Honesty is such a lonely word. Everyone is so untrue. Honesty is hardly ever heard, but mostly what I need from you.
Let the memory of Dick Ashton remain in our hearts and his name on our lips. We have a calling in this world. We are called to honor diversity, to respect difference with dignity, and to challenge those who would forbid it. We are people of a wide path, so let us be wide in our affection and go our way in peace. Blessed be.
brothers, sisters all will join our hands and lift our voices high in freedom's call. Freedom's song. It's a dream that we're living. Freedom's song. It's a miracle come true. Freedom's song. It's a melody worth singing. Raise your voices through the sky and join in freedom's song. We come from different backgrounds, making plans across the sea. Our heritage is rich in hope, and freedom is the key. Now we stand together, joined in liberty, with heads held high and safe secure in this our liberty. Freedom song, it's the dream that we're living. Freedom song, it's a miracle come true. Freedom song, it's a melody we're singing. So raise your voices to the sky and join in freedom song. Freedom, 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 building a world to sing freedom songs. Freedom, freedom, hurry, don't hesitate. Freedom, join the lovers of freedom songs. Freedom song, freedom song. Now we stand together as brothers, sisters all. We'll join our hands and lift our voices high in freedom's call. Freedom's call. It's a dream that we're living. Freedom's call. It's a miracle come true. Freedom's call. It's a melody worth singing. So raise your voices to the sky and join in freedom songs. Freedom song.
Thank you. Nice job. I want to thank Reverend C.J. McGregor for his inspiring message, Carlos Garcia for the music and the choir, amazing, Kathy Fanny for our child and youth program, Sharon Gray on camera, Ed Elrod on sound, Joe Gayton, our sexton, Joyce Schaefer for the flowers, and our friendly greeters. It is good to be connected and to stay together in whatever way that we can. As Joan Marshall comes up to extinguish our chalice, thank you, please join in reciting the words in your order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and out into the world. Go now in peace.